rummage through your wardrobe, and you might just find gold. In an era dominated by rapid technological advancements and fast-paced lifestyles, an unexpected trend is taking the fashion world by storm. Vintage is in vogue. The allure of old-school designs isn't just about aesthetics. It's a burgeoning movement that reflects deeper societal shifts. Fashionistas and designers alike are pivoting towards styles that echo the past. This resurgence isn't merely a fleeting whim, but a profound reconnection with the eras gone by. It's a blend of appreciation for craftsmanship and a silent rebellion against the transient nature of modern fashion. The charm of these age-old fashions lies not only in their timeless appeal, but also in their unique stories. Each piece holds a history, a testament to the enduring nature of well-crafted attire. This shift is more than a trend. It's a revolution in how we perceive and consume fashion. The planet is at a tipping point, and fashion, one of the largest polluters, is taking note. The resurgence of vintage styles is not just a fashion statement but a sustainable choice. By reusing and recycling old garments, the industry reduces waste and decreases the demand for new resources. Consumers are increasingly aware of the environmental impact of their purchases. The vintage trend encourages a circular economy, where clothes are kept in use for as long as possible, reducing their overall environmental footprint. This shift is supported by both environmentalists and fashion lovers alike. Moreover, vintage clothing often requires fewer resources to reach the consumer. Without the need for new materials and extensive manufacturing processes, vintage garments represent a greener option in the wardrobe. This environmental consciousness is shaping shopping habits, steering them towards more responsible choices. There's a comforting familiarity in vintage styles that evokes a sense of nostalgia. This emotional connection is one of the driving forces behind the trend's popularity. Wearing vintage allows individuals to recreate memories or imagine past eras, providing an emotional depth that new clothes often lack. Nostalgia serves as an anchor in the rapidly changing world. For many, vintage fashion offers a connection to their heritage and past generations. It's a way to preserve history through clothing, making each piece a cherished possession rather than just a fashion statement. The trend also aligns with the desire for uniqueness in the age of mass production. Vintage pieces, often one of a kind, allow wearers to express their individuality through distinct and rare styles that can't be found in regular stores. This emotional resonance enhances the value of vintage garments, making them more than just clothing. Section 4. Economic sense. Thrifting for treasures. Vintage fashion is not only about sentiment and sustainability, it also makes solid economic sense. In the wake of global economic uncertainties, consumers are becoming more budget conscious. Vintage and thrift shopping emerge as economical alternatives to buying new, often expensive designer wear. The affordability of vintage items makes high fashion accessible to a broader audience. It democratizes style, allowing people from various economic backgrounds to indulge in unique and quality fashion without breaking the bank. This inclusivity is one of the key appeals of the vintage trend. Furthermore, the resale value of vintage items often remains high, making it a worthwhile investment. Savvy fashion enthusiasts recognize that well-chosen vintage pieces can increase in value over time, unlike most new clothing, which depreciates once worn. This economic benefit attracts both collectors and everyday consumers. Section 5. Real-life impact brands and consumers embrace retro. Leading fashion brands are increasingly incorporating vintage styles into their collections, recognizing their appeal and marketability. This has led to a significant shift in how companies produce and market their clothes, with many now featuring vintage lines or collaborating with vintage stores. The impact on consumers is profound. More people are turning to vintage not only as a fashion choice but as a lifestyle. Social media platforms are flooded with influencers and fashion bloggers showcasing their vintage finds, further fueling the trend's popularity. This shift also challenges designers to innovate within the constraints of existing styles, leading to creative and unique fashion statements. As brands and consumers alike embrace retro, the fashion landscape continues to evolve, making old new again. Section 6. Future Outlook. What lies ahead for vintage fashion? As we gaze into the fashion future, vintage seems here to stay, but with an evolving character. Technological advancements like augmented reality and online vintage shops are set to enhance how we discover and purchase vintage pieces, making them more accessible to a global audience. However, challenges remain. The growing popularity of vintage could lead to increased prices and a saturated market. Yet, the core appeal of uniqueness and sustainability is likely to sustain its popularity among conscious consumers. In conclusion, the resurgence of vintage fashion is more than a trend. It is indicative of broader cultural shifts towards sustainability, emotional connectivity, and economic sensibility. As the world changes, so too does fashion, continually adapting while retaining a link to the past.